Hey, white darkness isn't actual darkness. It doesn't even contain cocoa powder. What the fuck? Are you sure? Because the snow looks pretty slow behind you, Marth. Maybe you should just turn around? You think the enemy would comply with that? Hey, let's fight on the other side of this blizzard. Can we go for the slow side? That'd be great. I mean, it'll be a little different, but it's still gonna involve a whole lot of stabbing. I think we'll be fine. Alright, so, before we begin, how is everyone? Alright, experiencing a unit I don't use. Sorry, Paula, I don't use you on this playthrough either. And Glass Axe. That, of course, like the other glass weapons, breaks in 3 uses, but is fairly powerful. Not really useful outside of bosses. Alright, so what conversations do we have today? Oh, Marth and Seda. So, yeah, this is the last in the support line. And like I said last time, they kinda resolved their argument, so they're just gonna have a pleasant chat, and I still love it. It's a really good support line. I didn't even realize how good it was until this playthrough, but, like, no, it's super good. God, I love that line. It's actually kinda character development, because of course, at the end of Shadow Dragon, Marth was super dense and didn't even realize Seda was trying to confess to him. And Nina had to step in and tell Marth, hey, dummy, she's kind of in love with you, maybe you should go talk to her. Now Marth is the smoothest dork. He's just a gigantic idiot, but see, he actually understands feelings now. And we get a defense bond for that. It's too bad that support line's over, but I mean, I always use Marth and Seda in the same fight, so like, I don't know. Seda's kind of a staple, and obviously Marth is as well, being the main character and all, so that was over pretty quickly. Alright, so let's look at the map. Oh boy, so this is a condition known as Fog of War. It's a fun condition, we'll talk about it more in a sec. First the intro. Hey, it's Athena, how's it going? Okay, see, at least Athena wasn't here before us like Beck was. So, it's fine that she managed to follow us, though also, dang, it's pretty impressive that she managed to evade the assassins up until some point in the last chapter, I guess. At some point she was caught up in a fight. I like how the game admits that Fog of War is cheating, and that the AI just fucking knows where you are, even though you can't see them. I hate Fog of War, but at least it's honest. Alright, Athena time. So unfortunately, while I like Athena, it's one of those too little too late situations for her. Unless you used her in the prologue, Athena starts at level 10, which is incredibly low at this point in the game, and her stats do kinda match that, meaning she feels like she's behind at this point. Heck, even if you did use her in the prologue, chances are you probably didn't get that much experience with her, meaning she's not gonna be too much better. And of course, you already have plenty of Myrmidons at this point. Earlier I did point out that we got a whole lot in a row, and they were all kinda samey, and well, Athena's also kinda samey. She is what you'd expect from a Myrmidon, plus maybe a little bit of HP. Of course, she actually has all 3 standard growth rates, I guess. She's got skill, speed, and luck, whereas some of the other Myrmidons only had 2 of the 3. Unfortunately though, her strength isn't amazing, which is a bit of a downside. Though she does have a rank B in swords, that's an advantage. But again, chances are you've probably used one of the other Myrmidons up to this point, and if you have, you should probably just keep doing that. It's a little difficult to train Athena at this point. Unless of course you really want to use her, in which case, Drill Grounds is your friend, and you will kinda need that. So unfortunately we're not going to be seeing much Athena here because I had a few attempts where she kinda just died, because she's not really leveled up at all, and she is super weak for this point in the game, probably due to the fact that you can find her in the prologue. Anyway though, yes, this is a Fog of War map. So Fog of War wasn't in the original Mystery of the Emblem, so we're not going to see it in any of the original chapters. The new chapters made for the remake though, oh, they have Fog of War from time to time. Not too frequently, thank goodness. Fog of War wasn't introduced until Thracia, which fucking figures Thracia would make the second worst weather condition in the series. So yes, even though I never like Fog of War in strategy games, there is a worse one. It's the rain and snow effects in 7. There's a reason those don't appear often, and that's because it really fucking sucks to be proceeding through a chapter, and then to have the map just start raining out of nowhere, and oh, whoops! Now nothing happens, because neither you nor the enemy can really move all that much. I complained about the desert, but like, at least it gave advantage to the enemy, which is kind of a thing. Obviously it's not the most enjoyable thing to have wyverns fly at you from across the map and you can't really do anything about it, but like, in Rain or Snow in 7, no one could do anything, so everyone kinda just sat around for a while. It was really boring and overall pointless, and really all it did was just increase your turn count. It was dumb. Honestly though, Fog of War's not that bad in this game. I still don't like it, but eh. In this chapter it's mostly just used to hide a whole lot of long-ranged units, which, by the way, Klein is right above the bottom right corner of the map, so if you move within 9 spaces of that, she will attack you, because of course she will aggro. Be dumb if she didn't. And right below her is a ballista as well. Thank goodness for War of Dragons for having a map that actually shows enemies, which, by the way, on Lunatic mode, there are actually 2 Sword Masters, so you will actually have to take a Lance user to this chapter in Lunatic mode, which is a bit of a problem, considering most of the enemies are Axe users. It throws a little bit of a wrench into the strategy, admittedly. Oh, and by the way, of course this is a kill all the enemies and win the chapter mission, and thankfully it's pretty easy to not accidentally do that since the last ballista's in a corner, but you want this chest because you get Iote's shield from it. Iote's shield prevents flyers from being hit for bonus damage by bow or, I want to say wind magic, but I can't think of anybody in the game who really uses wind magic, so it could just be bows, with the exception of, like, multiplayer, since, you know, you can bring a Merrick with wind magic or any mage with Shaver in that case, but you very much do not want to miss Iote's shield. It is an incredibly useful item, and there's only one of them in this game, so if you miss the Gaiden chapter, or if you don't pick it up here, you're in for a bad time. Well, not necessarily. Like, you can survive without it, but, like, why would you want to? It's really good. Alright, so, now Klein's appeared. She's probably one of the easiest assassin bosses in the game, because if push comes to shove, you can just surround her. That being said, though, for me she's kind of a reverse George, because, like, my luck against her was good for both playthroughs, because I kind of crit her instead. I think the same thing happened in my other playthrough, in which she still targeted my units, and of course I'm a mage in that playthrough, so she kinda just got herself killed. It wasn't one of her better ideas, let me tell ya. So, yeah, that's Klein taken care of. As a sniper, she has got a few weaknesses, including being crit to death. So, yeah. If only she had close counter, or whatever that's called. I forget the skill name. Or alternatively, if only she was an Echo's archer, then she might have at least been able to fight back a bit. Especially against Iris, who was at very low HP. Now, you might think I was worried about that pachyderm, but I really wasn't. Honestly, it's one of those situations where, A, the chapter's short, so it doesn't matter too much anyway, even if I had a bit of trouble at the beginning thanks to Athena being a low level. But also, like, if I got hit by a ballista right at the end, clearly my luck was not good enough in the first place, and I might as well restart at that point anyway. Alright, so that's a level up for Ogma. He can almost promote, just one more level. And that's it for the chapter. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna leave Klein face down and bleeding in the snow. I mean, I guess we don't care that much. We don't really have a reason to. Speaking of which, here's a scene that might actually be kinda sad if Klein was, like, a good character at all. 'Cause, it's set up fairly well. And it's technically sad, but I'm more sad for Katarina than anything else. Klein herself up to this point has just been all murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. She's not really had much of a personality outside of, hey, I sure do love murder. I love killing people. Have I mentioned that? Also, this wasn't really set up beforehand. Yeah, remember our terrible mother? We're never alone as long as we have our garbage, awful mother. If I lose this last bond, I have to leave the fellowship. I can't do that, Klein. Gasp! Master Garnef? I forget if that was a surprise for me the first time I played through the game, but it's certainly not a surprise now that I actually know the story. Oh yeah, and this is the other part that's not particularly sad either, because, I kinda saw this part coming. I mean, who wouldn't? Just because Klein's the golden child doesn't mean Eremiah wouldn't be like, yeah, she fucked up, so kill her. It's, again, like, it's a kind of a sad situation, but Klein as a character is very one-note and not at all sympathetic up to this point. And yeah, as she said, of course, she would also be killed for failing, because Eremiah's the worst.